Actually, I was telling about my experience, and you can see on the screen that what experience I have. I have developed various data analytic project on based on Hadoop and big data, and I also developed some online portals like Reportal, RMCAP portal, RMAP, and Leap portal, where I have done my project by using some latest technology and trend like .NET Core and Angular, and my complete experience based on web and data analytics, because I have done some data analytics task also by using Hadoop. So let's begin and understand that what is a big data. Okay. Okay. So first of all, to understand that big data, first of all, we have to understand what is data is actually. Okay. So data is defined as the quantities, characters, or symbols on which operations are performed by a computer, which may be stored and transmitted in the form of electrical signal and recorded on magnetic, optical, or mechanical recording media. Okay. So now, as you can see that presently we are working among the data. There are lots of sources have generated right now, because if you are streaming, if you are watching YouTube videos, if you are uh, using your internet, or you are surfing
और कितना टाइम से
Google, and there are
वॉचिंग
lots of
लगता है
sources we
वहाँ
have
से कितने
presently.
बजे
If
चली
you
थी
are
वहाँ से?
doing some
मुझे तो लगा
transactions,
कि शायद अच्छा है 10-15 पे चले थे वहाँ से।
I think please mute your mic, ma'am.
नहीं मैंने कहा वहाँ से कितने बजे चले थे? तेजल
Ma'am,
से
please.
मिलने के बाद नागपुर से कितने बजे निकले थे? अच्छा तो बस
Okay. Okay. So now that lots of sources has been generated, like if you are using Facebook or social media, if you are using social media, you are generating some data, you are uploading some videos, your images, it means that you are generating the data. Okay. So there are lots of problems we face, because the data is not proper format, in proper format, like you have structured, semi structured, and unstructured data. So that is the problem with us. Now to handle this such kind of issues, we have big data. Okay. So you can see over here on the screen that what is a big data is actually. Big data is also data, but with a huge size. Big data is a term used to describe a collection of data that is huge in size and yet growing exponentially with time. Okay. Big data is the term for a collection of data sets so large and complex that is become difficult to process using on-hand database management tools or a traditional data processing application. So that is the problem is actually. Do you know that if you have deploy your complete data on a single server, it may be possible your server will some problem, hardware problem is occurred in your server. It means that your data will be lost. So what are the solutions? What kind of solution we can adopt to protect our data, and we can analyze the data? First thing that we can do, that we have to manage different servers, which is definitely which is very expensive for us, because of managing different servers, the hardware cost is very increasing. And if you are processing some data, and maximum servers capacity is 100 MB per second, or normal, if I'm talking about the normal server, the uh, capacity of the server is 100 MB per second. But you have stored your data in your traditional database servers like SQL Server or Oracle or MySQL you have used, and you have created the data will have the size of terabytes or petabytes. It means to read the data, it's very difficult for us, because the capacity of the server is not very high, because the capacity of the server, maximum the capacity of the server is 100 MB per second, and you are trying to read the data in, with the range of GBs. So it is very typical for us to handle this kind of data. So what is the solutions? Okay. And how you can transfer your data? Your web applications are reading some data, but you are not you know capable to handle. So you can see the some examples of big data, like the New York Stock Exchange generates about 1 terabyte of new trade data per day. They are, social media is also responsible to generate, big data, because you know every person is uploading their videos, their images, their pictures day by day, and the users also increasing on social media presently. The statistics shows that 500 plus terabytes of new data gets ingested into the database of social media site Facebook every day. This data is mainly generated in terms of photo and videos uploads, message exchange, putting comments, etc. A single jet engine can generate 10 plus terabytes of data in 30 minutes of flight time. With many thousand flights per day, generation of data reaches up to many petabytes. So this is the problem we are facing right now. So what is big data? We have already explained. Now you can see the what are the sources we have presently by which the data is generating. You can see that a person who is responsible to generate this data, like banking, finance. Okay, if you are doing some banking, you are doing some transactions. Okay, your all your transactions record has been saved in your databases, while whatever database you are using, like Oracle, SQL. Okay, and some online softwares like ERP, and like SAP, IBM. If you are doing some purchasing some from any store, then that is also the responsible for you to manage your the record of your purchasing is also done by the SAP and IBM. So this is also done, it can increasing your data. Purchasing is the problem. Entertainment is also the responsible to generate data, because you have taken the Netflix subscription, you have watched some video, and your data is also saved, your history is also saved in their databases. Some gaming platform also increasing database size, because recording or storing the gaming performance and games related tasks, which is also increasing your data. And social media platform also increasing data. Okay, so in fact, in a minute, email users send more 2004 million messages, 204 million messages. Google receives over 2 million search queries. YouTube users upload 48 hours of new videos. Facebook users share 6 lakhs 84,000 bits of content. Twitter's users send more than 1 lakh tweets. Consumers spend, like in dollars. You can see the figures over here. In web shopping, Apple receives an around 47,000 application downloads. Brand receives more than 34,000 Facebook likes. Tumblr blog owner published 27,000 new posts. Instagram's user share 3,600 new photos. So they are the different sources by which the data is increasing. Okay. Okay. The model of generating consuming data has changed. Old model, you can see the few companies are generating data, all others are consuming data. Okay. So there are other sources also available. This is the new model. Now the people is generating the data. So this is the computational view of big data. Okay. So you can see this particular image from bottom to top. Okay. So how your big data is can be shown like that, like first of all, we have the storage. It means that you are taking some data from the websites, like from the excels and business reports, and you are formatting and cleaning. After that, you are extracting the useful data. Okay, so data understanding is also the useful task over here. Data access and data visualization. Data visualization means that how you can show your data, like in the form of pie charts and all kind of things is can be done by the data visualization. Now come to the very important point, which is the types of big data. Okay, so first one is a structured, yani it means that you are using some relational databases like Oracle, like SQL Server. This kind of data which is you are storing in them are called is a structured data. Okay, unstructured means the data which is not structured. It means that you are uploading your videos, your images, your files. Okay, they are not stored in a proper manner. That is called unstructured data. And third one is a semi-structured. Semi-structured means your your data which is not completely structured, it means that you are not storing into relational databases, or that is not in unstructured format. It means, for example, I can take as example of JSON. Okay. So as we know, JSON is a data action format which is used to which is used to share your data from client to server and server to client. In that case, we use the semi-structured data. Okay. So you can see the examples of structured data. Structured data is used to refer to the data which is already stored in databases in an ordered manner. It accounts for about 20% of the total existing data and use the most programming and computer related activities. You can see the example of structured data. You can see that you have the table, and the data is stored in the row and column basis. Okay. So this is the example of relational data. So this is called a structured data, where you can read your data very easily. You have to define a particular key, and after getting the key, you can understand the row and you can get the row. Okay, by using the key only. Another kind of data is unstructured data. Unstructured data have no clear format in storage. Unstructured data is also classified based on its source into machine generated or human generated. Machine generated data accounts for all the satellite images, the scientific data from various experiments, and radar data captured by the various facets of technologies. Human generated unstructured data is found in evidence across the internet, since it includes social media, mobile data, and website content. And the examples of unstructured data you can see like text and video, audio, mobile activity, social media activity, satellite imagery, all these kind of data is called unstructured data. Now come to the another point which is very important, semi-structured data. Now we have the semi-structured data, various examples of semi-structured data. If you are using the NoSQL, okay, like MongoDB, NoSQL, okay, these are the example of semi-structured data where you are storing your data in the format of JSON. Okay, where the problem, the benefit of JSON is that, or by using the semi-structured data is that, if you are storing data in the MongoDB, it means your data number of columns and number of rows are not predefined. Okay, you can update your number of columns and number of rows. That is called the semi-structured data. The line between unstructured data and the semi-structured data has always been unclear, since most of the semi-structured data appear to be understood at a glance. Information that is not in the traditional database format as structured data but contains some organizational properties which make it easier to process are included in semi-structured data. For example, NoSQL documents are considered to be semi-structured since they contain keywords that can be used to process the document easily. So semi-structured data, very now presently it is very useful and most of the companies are using it. You can see the example of semi-structured data over here. This is the JSON array where you can see that we have created a students object. Camera sharing. So this is the example of semi-structured data where you can see like the data is in a JSON format where you can see like we have done some key and value pairs where you can see name is the key and DJ is the value of the key. Marks is the key and 89 is the value. This is the first row, and second row you can see like name is the key and Suchit is the value, and marks is the key and 97 is the value. Okay, so this is the format of semi-structured data. Now the big characteristics of the big data are some like volume, velocity, veracity, and such kind of volume, such kind of characteristics we have in big data. So you can see that what is the volume is actually. As you know that the terms is already implies that volume means that your data size. Okay. So volume is one characteristics which needs to be considered while dealing with big data. The quantity of generated and stored data, the size of the data determines the value and the potential insight, and whether it can be considered big data or not. Okay. So these are the three characteristics, like volume, which is definitely is the data quantity, velocity, data speed. You are streaming data, you are watching the videos, you are, it means that you are generating some uh, your data by the streaming only. And the variety means that you're handling your data is a different kind of data you are getting. Like you are, if you are watching the video, it means that you are handling your data in the blob size. The veracity is the type and nature of the data. This helps people who analyze it to effectively use the resulting insight. Big data drawn from text, images, audio, and videos. Velocity. The term velocity refers to the speed of generation of data. Big data velocity deals with the speed and which data flows in from source like business processes, applications, logs, networks, and social media sites, sensors, mobile devices. The velocity is also very increasing day by day because every person is using social media, and these are kind of social resources. So you can see over here, which is very important to understand that four V's is what is. First one is a volume. Data is a rest. Terabytes to exabyte of existing data to process. Velocity means that data is data in motion. Streaming data, milliseconds to seconds to respond. Variety, data in many forms, structured, unstructured, text, multimedia. Veracity, data in doubt. Uncertainty due to the data inconsistency and incompleteness, ambiguities, latency, deception, model approximation. And what are the benefits to handle this big data? Are the improved customer service, okay, better operational efficiency, better decision making, and are few advantages of big data. Okay. So you know that why we are processing our data to provide a better support to our customer. If you analyze that what is a customer requirement, then you can sell your product. Okay. And now come to the big data tools and softwares. You know that it's a very popular name, that is a Hadoop. I will discuss about that how it is Hadoop is also work, because we are, if you are try to learn the big data, you should learn about the Hadoop also. So Apache Hadoop is a software framework employed for clustered file system and handling of big data. It processes data sets of big data by means of the map reduced programming model. Okay. The map reduced programming model has been given by Google itself. This is the first map reducing programming model, and by taking the reference of Google map reducing programming model, the Hadoop also is developed. Hadoop is an open source framework that is written in Java and it's provide cross platform support. Some of the big names include Amazon Web Services, Hortonworks, IBM, Intel, Microsoft, Facebook are using this Hadoop cluster system. Hadoop is a bunch of tools. It has many components. SDFS and MapReduce are two core components of Hadoop. SDFS means Hadoop Distributed File System. Makes our job easy to store the data on the commodity hardware. Will to expect hardware failures. Intended for large file and batch insert. MapReduce for parallel processing. So Hadoop is a software platform that lets one easily write and run application that process big data. The pros and cons you can see over here, like the core strength of Hadoop is a SDFS, Hadoop File Distributed File System, which has the ability to hold all types of data, video, images, JSON, XML, and plain text. Highly useful for R&D purposes and provide quick access to data. The cons of this Hadoop cluster is that sometimes disk space issues can be faced due to its 3x data redundancy. Input output operation could have been optimized for better performance. Pricing, the software is free to use under the Apache license. Okay. Another kind of database tool that is MongoDB, which is also popular, which is a completely a new SQL database. It means that to get the data from the MongoDB, there is no need to write your SQL queries. Okay, if you have done or if you have experience on relational databases like SQL Server and Oracle, as you know very well that how we can retrieve the data from those data sources. Like if you want to read some table data, it means that you have to write say a simple SQL query like select district from table name, by which you can read your data. Okay. But in case of MongoDB, database is not stored in the form of relational tables. The data is stored in the form of JSON arrays. Okay. So I have already told you that what is JSON and how the structure, what is the structure of JSON. We have already discussed about that. Okay. So this database management tool, MongoDB, is a cross-platform document database that provides some facilities for querying and indexing, such as high performance, high availability, and scalability. MongoDB developers this tool and license benefit the SSPL server-side public license. It works on the idea of collection and document. Okay. Now we can see that collection is just a kind of, you can see it's a database and document is a table. Okay. Features: MongoDB stores data using JSON like documents. This distributed database provides availability horizontally, scaling, and distribute geographically. The features ad hoc query, indexing, and aggregation in real time provide such a way to access and analyze the data potentially. This tool is free to use. Tableau is a software solution for business intelligence and analyticals, which present a variety of integrated products that add the world's largest organization visualizing the understanding that their data. So first, I want to tell you what before going to the Tableau and the other analytical tools. First, I just want to tell you what is a Hadoop file system. Okay, so see, it's very important to understand how it is working Hadoop, because if you are talking about the big data, it means that you should aware with the Hadoop also. So first of all is what is Hadoop? Hadoop is an open source and Java-based programming framework that support the processing and storage of extremely large data set in a distributed computing environment. Okay. So what is the meaning of distributed computing environment? It means that the lots of servers are interconnected and you are getting the data from those servers. Okay. And data is also distributed among the different servers, and you are managing all the servers data on a single server, that is also called the name node, and the servers are called the data node. We will discuss about that also. Hadoop is capable to work on cluster thousands of interconnected machines and handle to thousands of terabytes data. Hadoop provides rapid data transfer rate. As you know that if you are using the commodity hardware, the maximum limit of the commodity hardware is 100 MB per second. But in case of Hadoop, the speed of the data transfer rate is increased if you are using the Hadoop. And Hadoop is open source, so you can use that. Hadoop is capable to work on cluster thousands of interconnected machine and handle to thousands of terabytes data. It is developed by the Don Cutting with the Mike Cafarellas in 2006. It was inspired by the Google's MapReduce programming framework, as I told you earlier. So first of all, we have to discuss about the SDFS, which is called Hadoop Distributed File System, and it have two types of nodes. First one is a name node, and second one is the data node. Okay, and to manage your complete Hadoop SDFS system, we have the another thing which is called the yet another resource negotiator, or you can say it's a yarn. Okay, so we will learn what is the name node is actually. Name node is also known as the master. Okay, if you are using Hadoop, it means that you are working on the master slave architecture, and name node is called the master, which is responsible to handle the slave. Okay, so name node only store the metadata of SDFS. SDFS means that actual files or physical files are stored into on your SDFS, or you can say on the data nodes, and all the data nodes are managed by the name node only. Okay, name node does not store the actual data or the data set. The data is stored in the data nodes physically. Name node knows the list of blocks and its location for any given file in SDFS. With this information, name node knows how to construct the file from blocks. Name node is a single point of failure in Hadoop cluster. It means that your master is failure. Master is failed. In that case, your data nodes will can't interconnected, or you can't communicate with each other. So it means that if the name node is destroyed, in that case your Hadoop system is also destroyed. So in that case, we can take the another option, like we can manage two name nodes. Okay, like another name node is the backup name node. If once your name node is destroyed, another name node will active and it will perform your task. Name node is usually configured with a lot of memory because the block locations are held in main memory. Okay. Now come to the data nodes. Data nodes is responsible for storing the actual data in SDFS. Data node is also known as the slave. Name node and data node are in constant communication. When a data node is down, it does not affect the availability of data, or the cluster name node with arrange for replication for the blocks managed by the data node that is not available. This is a main example of SDFS, how the SDFS is worked. You can see over here, like first of all, we have the name node, which is interconnected with the data nodes. And in left hand side, you can see that your file is divided into blocks. What is the mean of file divided into blocks? I'm just taking a very simple example that you have the data of the size of 1 GB. Okay. So what you will do first of all, you will divide your 1 GB data into different data blocks. You can see like here, like block 1, block 2, block 3, and block 4. You can imagine like the block 1 size is 250 MB and block 2 size is 250 MB. It means that you have divide your 1 GB data into 4 250 GB, 250 MB data blocks. Okay. So each block, your data block, will be stored on your SDFSs. Okay. So this is the data node. Okay. And the SDFS is managed into data node. But to figure out this, I have just taken is outside the data node, but is the internal part of data node 1. Like this SDFS is a part of data node 2, and this SDFS is a part of data node 3. Your data, data, it may be possible if your block 1 is stored only on this particular data node 1, and if data node 1 is fail, the hardware issue has generated, in that case your data will be lost also. But in case of Hadoop SDFS, your 3 replicated copies are shared between different SDFS. It means that this data node 1 have the block 1, and it may be possible that data node 3 has also the block 1 data. It means that somehow if I this particular SDFS or data nodes has destroyed of hardware failure, some kind of issues are generated. In that case, the name node can take this data from the data node 3. So that is the beauty of SDFS. If you are using the SDFS, your data is secure because various servers are using or storing your data, and the complete information that which data is stored on which node is stored in a name node. So name node is responsible to store the metadata of your different data nodes. Okay. And another tool of Hadoop is the Yarn. That is the Apache Hadoop 2.0 includes Yarn, which separate the resource management and processing components. Who use big data? You can see Facebook, cloud computing, YouTube, your flights data is also handling by, and the bank and transactions data is also managed by the big data. It's mean like if you are, you can see the example of YouTube. If you have watched some video already watched, then the rated video also shown in your screen. Okay, and it is done by the big data. It means that the behavior of the customer is predicted by the YouTube, and the suggestible videos are showing on your previous history. So what is a solution to handle the big data? Two things are need for the storage and processing. Okay. The first one thing is that I can take the single larger server, which is very expensive. Okay. And somehow if it is destroyed, the hardware issues are generated. In that case, your data is also lost. So another solution, group of commodity servers. You can see commodity servers. The server is a very usual server. It means that there is no need to take a very high configured server. You can take a very simple server where the which is work as a data nodes. And these are the characteristics of big data, like volume, variety, velocity, veracity. These are the examples. So what is the volume? The click stream, active passive sensors, log, event, printed corpus, speech, social media, traditional. Okay, so these are the sources of volume. And variety means that you have the data of different kind of structured, semi-structured, structured. Velocity is the speed of generation, rate of analysis. Data is very increasing very fastly. And the veracity is the untrusted or uncleansed. It means that you do not know about what is the actual source of your data you are getting, or is it trusted or not. So I have given you the examples of a big data Hadoop system. Now come to the analytical tools which we can use. So, but before that, I just want to tell you what is the difference between data analytics and data analysis. Okay. So data analysis is a procedure of investigating, cleaning, transforming, and training of the data with the aim of finding some useful information, recommend conclusions, and helps in decision making. Data analysis tools are Open Refine, Tableau, Public, NIME, Google Fusion Tables, Node Excel, and many more. Analytics is utilizing data, machine learning, statistical analysis, and computer-based models to get better insights and make better decisions from the data. Analytics is defined as a process of transforming data into action through analysis and insight in the context of organizational decision making and problem solving. Analytics is supported by many tools such as Microsoft Excel, SAS, R, Python, Tableau Public, Apache Spark, and Excel. So this is some differences between data analytics versus data analysis. So I am telling you about the basis of comparison. First one is the form, and data analytics is general form of analytics which is used in businesses to make decisions from data which are data driven. Data analysis is a specialized form of data analytics used in businesses to analyze data and take some insight of it. Structure: data analytics consists of data collection and inspect in general, and it has one or more users. And what about the data analysis? Data analysis considered of defining a data, investigation, cleaning, transforming the data to give a meaningful outcome. Tools: there are many analytical tools in market, but mainly R, Tableau, Public, Python, SAS, Apache, Spark, Excel are used. And in case of data analysis, for analyzing the data, Open Refine, NIME, RapidMiner, Google Fusion Tables, Tableau Public, Node, Excel, okay, Wolfram Alpha tools are used. Data analytics in general can be used to find masked pattern, anonymous correlations, customer preferences, market trends. And data analysis can be used in various ways, like one can perform analysis like descriptive analysis, exploratory analysis, inferential analysis, and predictive analysis. Now come to the challenges of data. Okay, what kind of the problem we generally face during if you are using the big data. Okay, so challenges of big data encountered by the companies, these including data quality, storage, lack of data science professionals, and validating data and accumulating data from different sources. So first challenge that we generally face, that is a lack of proper understanding of big data. Okay, so companies fail in their big data initiative due to insufficient understanding. Employees may not know what data is, its storage, processing, importance, and sources. Data professionals may know what is going on, but others may not have a clear picture. Okay. For example, if employees do not understand the importance of data storage, they might not keep the backup of the sensitive data. They might not use database properly for storage. As a result, when this important data is required, it cannot be retrieved easily. Okay. And solution is also given. Big data workshop and seminars must be held as companies for everyone. Basic training programs must be arranged for all the employees who are handling data regularly and a part of big data projects. A basic understanding of data concept must be inculcated by all levels of organization. Okay. Another thing is the data growth issues. The one of the most pressing challenges of big data is storing all these huge sets of data properly. The amount of data being stored in the data centers and databases of companies is increasing rapidly. As these data sets grow exponentially with time, it gets extremely difficult to handle. Most of the data is unstructured and comes from the documents, videos, audios, text file, and other sources. This means that you cannot find them in database. Okay, so this is the problem with us. Now the solution in order to handle these large data sets, companies are opting for modern techniques such as compression and deduplication, tiering. Compression is used for reducing the number of bits in the data, thus reducing its overall size. Deduplication is the process of removing duplicate and unwanted data from a dataset. Data tiering allows companies to store data in different storage tiers. It ensures that the data is residing in the most appropriate storage space. Just a minute. Text file and other sources. This means that you cannot find them in database. And what is the solution? In order to handle these large data sets, companies are opting for modern techniques such as compression, tiering, and deduplication. I already told you about that. Okay, so if you are using these technologies like duplication, compression, it ensures that the data is residing in the most appropriate storage space. Data tiers can be public cloud, private cloud, and flash storage, depending on the data size and importance. So companies are also opting for the big data tools such as Hadoop, NoSQL, and other technologies, which is leads to third big data problem. Okay, then come to the another challenge we have: confusion while big data tool selection. Companies often get confused while selecting the best tool for big data analysis and storage. Is HBase or Cassandra, which is also the some analytical tools, the best technology for data storage? Am I right? Is Hadoop MapReduce good enough for will Spark be a better option for data analytics and storage? So we have various tools. So it is very difficult to understand that in which case which particular tool works fine. Okay. So these questions bother companies, and sometimes they are unable to find the answers. They end up making poor decisions and selecting an inappropriate technology. As a result, money, time, efforts, and work hours are wasted. Okay. So what is the solution? The best way to go about is seek professional help. You can either hire experienced professionals who know much more about these tools. Another way is to go for the big data consulting. Consultant will give you a recommendation of the best tools based on your company scenario. Based on their advice, you can work out a strategy and select the best tool for you. Okay. Another challenge is the lack of data professionals, because that the data is increasing. Every company wants that they want some data professionals, but in market you can find them very easily, the perfect data analyst. To run these modern technologies and big data tools, companies need skilled data professionals. These professionals will include data scientists, data analysts, and data engineers who are experienced in working with these tools and making sense out of used data sets. Companies face a problem of lack of big data professionals. This is because data handling tools have evolved rapidly, but in most cases, the professionals have not. Actionable steps need to be taken in order to bridge this gap. So another point is another challenge is that the how we can secure the data. But before that, just telling you about the solution. Actually, companies are investing more money in the recruitment of skilled professionals. They also have to offer training programs to the existing staff to get the most out of them. Another important step taken by the organization is the purchase of data analytics solutions that are powered by artificial intelligence, machine learning. Okay, so you can use these tools like if you have done the artificial intelligence or machine learning, you can find out that which tool is more perfect for your problem. These tools can be run by professionals who are not data science expert but have basic knowledge. This step helps companies to save a lot of money for recruitment. Now, another point is the securing data. How you can secure your data. Securing these whose set of data is one of the daunting challenges of big data. Often companies are so busy in understanding, storing, and analyzing their data sets that they push data security for large stages. But this is not a smart move, as unprotected data repositories can become breeding grounds for malicious hackers. Companies can lose up to $3.7 million for a stolen record of a data breach. Then solution, companies are recruiting more cybersecurity professionals to protect their data. Other steps taken for securing data includes data encryption, data segregation, identity and access control, implementation of endpoint security, real-time security monitoring, use big data security tools such as IBM Guardian. Okay, these are the solutions. So you have to follow these technologies like data integration, data segregation, everything you have to apply. Okay. Another challenge is integrating data from a variety of sources. Okay. Data in an organization comes from a variety of sources such as social media pages, ERP application, customer logs, financial reports, emails, presentation, and report created by employees. Combining all this data to prepare reports is a challenging task. This is an area often neglected by firms, but data integration is crucial for analysis, reporting, and business intelligence, so it has to be perfect. Then come to the solution. Companies have to solve their data integration problem by purchasing the right tools. Some of the best data integration tools are Talent Data Integration, Centerprise Data Investigator, IBM InfoSphere, Clover DX, Microsoft SQL, ClickView, and Oracle Data Service Integrator also help to to come out from this issue. In order to put big data to the best use, companies have to start doing things differently. This means hiring better staff, changing the management, reviewing existing business policies and technologies being used to enhance decision making. Okay, or they can hire the chief data officer. So the conclusion is the improvement and progress will only begin by understanding the challenges of big data. Okay, which I told you about that. So come to the analytical tools. Okay, this is our last the topic that what are the analytical tools are works. So first is the R programming, which is very more popular. Okay, so R is the leading analytical tool in the industry and widely used for statistics and data modeling. It can easily manipulate your data and present in different ways. It has exceed SAS in many ways like capacity of data and performance and outcome. R complies and runs on a wide variety of platforms like Unix, Windows, and Mac OS. It has near about 12,000 packages and allow you to browse the packages by category. R also provide tools to automatically install all packages as per requirement, which can also be well assembled with big data. Second one is the Tableau Public. Tableau Public is also a free software that connects any data source, but incorporate data warehouse, Microsoft Excel or web-based data, and creates data visualization. So Tableau Public is presently used for the data visualization. If you have the data, how you can visualize that? It means that by using the map, dashboard, and such kind of things we can use. And this is not done by you only. If you have give the input to the in Tableau public, it will generate the output dashboard. Okay, and you can also share it that dashboard or output from the Tableau public from to your social media platforms, or by you can send you can share your data visualize data by using the email, and these tools are also available in Tableau public. So as you can see that they can also be shared through social media or with the client. Is allows the access to download the file in different formats. If you want to see the power of Tableau, then we must have a very good data source. Tableau big data capabilities makes them important, and one can analyze and visualize data better than any other data visualization software in the market. Now come to the very popular analytical tool Python, because I think you already used it, because most of the people are using Python as a to make the reports and for the data analysis and data analytics and machine learning and artificial intelligence, and every area the people are using the Python. So Python is an object-oriented scripting language which is easy to read and write, maintenance and free open source. The beauty of Python is that it have lots of packages, inbuilt packages. You just to take the reference of the package, and the all the things will be done by the package itself. There is no need to write a big code. There is no need to write a more complex code. It has completely done by the Python packages. So the beauty of the Python is that just the lots of packages we have, you can categorize them, you can use them as per your needs. So Python is easy to learn, and it is very similar to JavaScript, Ruby and PHP. Also Python has very good machine learning libraries like Scikit-learn, Thyno, TensorFlow and Keras. TensorFlow is a very popular name for the artificial intelligence. Another important features of Python is that it can be assembled on any platform like SQL Server, MongoDB database or JSON. Python is also capable to create your REST APIs, because you can, if you want to share data through the URL or by using the HTTP verbs, you can do it very easily by using the Python. So Python is a very popular analytical tools. Now come to the another tool which is also going very popular, SAS. It is not the new one, but it is a old one. But now the various the modules has been changed or developed by the SAS itself. Now it is becoming more popular. So SAS is a programming environment and language for data manipulations and a leader in analytics. Developed by the SAS Institute in 1966 and further developed by 1980s and 1990s. SAS is easily accessible, manageable, can analyze data from any sources. SAS introduced a large set of products in 2011 for customer intelligence and numerous SAS modules for web, social media, and marketing analytics that is widely used for profiling customers and prospects. It can also predict their behavior, manage and optimize communication. Okay. Another tool is the Apache Spark. University of California, Berkeley AMP lab developed Apache in 2009. Apache Spark is a fast, large-scale data processing engine and execute application in Hadoop cluster 100 times faster in memory and 100 times faster for disk. Now the people are not using completely using the Hadoop. In some cases, they are also using the Apache Spark because it's a fast processing capability. And Spark is built on the data science, and its concept makes data science effortless. Spark is also popular for for the data pipelines and machine learning models development. Spark also include a library like ML library that provides a progressive set of machine algorithm for repetitive data science technique like classification, regression, collaborating, filtering, clustering. Another popular analytical tool is the Excel. Excel is a basic, popular, and widely used analytical tool almost in all industries. Whether you are an expert in SAS, R, or Tableau, you will still need to use Excel. Excel becomes important when there is a requirement of the analytics on the client internal data. It analyzes a complex task that summarize the data with a preview of pivot tables that help in filtering the data as per the client requirement. Client has the advanced business analytics options which helps in modeling capabilities, which have pre-built options like automatic relationship detection, a creation of DEX measures, and time grouping. Another tool is the Rapid Miner. Okay. So Rapid Miner is a powerful integrated data science platform developed by the same company that performs predictive analysis and other advanced analyticals like data mining, text analytics, machine learning, and visual analytical without any programming. Rapid Miner can incorporate with any data source type, including Excel, Microsoft SQL, Teradata, Oracle, Sybase, IBM DB2, okay, MySQL, IBM SPS, DBase. This tool is very powerful that can generate analytical based on real life transformation settings. You can control the formats and data sets for the predictive analysis. Another tool is the NIME. NIME developed in January 2004 by a term of software engineers at University of Constas. NIME is a leading open source reporting and integrated analytical tools that allow you to analyze and model the data through visual programming. It integrates various components for data mining and machine learning by its modular data pipeline concept. Another tool is the QLick View, and QLick View has many unique features like patented technology and has in-memory data processing. What is the mean of in-memory data processing? The meaning of that is in-memory means that you are doing your processing by using the RAM only. Okay. So there is because the capacity or data processing speed of RAM is very fast in compared to disk. Okay, if you are reading some data from the disk, it is take some more time in compared to RAM reading. So uh, the QLick View is very capable to perform all the tasks by using the RAM only, and which is execute the result very fast to the end users and store the data in the reports itself. Data association in ClickView is automatically maintained and can be compressed to almost 10% from its original size. Data relationship is visualized using colors. A specific color is given to related data and other color for non-related data. Okay. Another tool which is also very popular, that is Splunk. Splunk is a tool that analyzes the search the machine generated data. Splunk pulls all text-based log data and provides a simple way to search through it. A user can pull in all kind of data and perform all sort of interesting statistical analysis and present in different format. So these are the tools which I have discussed with you, that what are the tools we can use. Another tools that I just want to tell you about them, like Apache Storm. Okay, Apache Storm is a big data tool for choice of moving data or when the data comes in continuous stream. In that case, you can use the Apache Storm. I told you about the 10 popular analytical tools, but we have another tools also, which are not more popular, but presently the people are using them. So I'm just telling about them, like how they are working, and I'm just taking some, they are. I'm giving you some introduction only. I'm not briefing them. Okay, and I also not developed their slides over here. Not showing any slide. Okay, so Apache Storm is a big data tool of choice for moving data or when the data comes in continuous stream. Spark works on static data, but Storm is ideal for real-time analytics for stream processing. Okay, so you are taking some data and or real-time analytics, like if you are browsing your Amazon or another e-commerce platform, where you will get some, uh, the you will get the suggestion by using these tools only. Apache Storm. So Apache Storm is capable to work on the dynamic data, but in case of Spark is capable to work on static data. It means that you have already stored your static data and you deliver to that your Spark solution, a Spark tool, and after that it will perform all the related tasks. And another popular tools like Pig and Hive. Okay. So Pig and Hive also very popular because if you have experience on the Hadoop, that Pig and Hive also very popular, framework. Hive was developed by the Facebook itself because they have using their this particular tool for their data processing and predictions. So Pig and Hive are the integral data analytical tools in the Hadoop ecosystem that reduce the complexity of writing map reduce queries. Okay. So map reduce queries means that this is a Google. Google has provided the map reduce programming because your data is divided into different storage. Your data is divided in different data parts, and you will analyze the data by using their data parts only. Okay, and if you want to fetch the data, you can fetch by in partitions. So Pig and Hive are the integral data analytics tools in the Hadoop ecosystem that reduce the complexity of writing map-reduce queries. Both these languages are like SQL, Hive more so. Most companies that work with big data and leverage the Hadoop platform use Pig and Hive. Okay. As I told you about the SAS also continues to be one of widely used data analytical tools in the industry. Okay, but the pricing is very high in case of you are using the SAS only. I told you about the different other and data analytical tools like Excel and QlikView, but Splunk. But I don't tell you about the Microsoft Power BI, which is also very popular, you know, uh, tool for the data analysis point of view. So, what is our Microsoft Power BI? Actually, it is a top business intelligence platform that offers support for dozens of data sources. So, if you have different data sources, you can use the Power BI. uh, this data analytical software allows users to create reports. It means that if you want to create the reports, displays and dashboard and post them. For quick delivery, users may combine a group of dashboard and reports into a Power BI app. Power BI has been given by the by the Microsoft itself. And if you have experience on the Excel, you can work very easily on Power BI, because initial step to learn Power BI, you should have knowledge about the Excel itself. Okay. So the Power BI helps users create and implement automatic models by applying machine learning with Azure machine learning. Okay. Another tool which is very popular, SAP Business Objects. SAP Business Objects provide a suite of data analytical tools for the data discovery, analyzing, and reporting. SAP Business Objects or SAP tools are designed to novice technical users, was also for carrying out complex analysis. Business Objects incorporates Microsoft Office products, enabling business analysts to easily reverse and switch between applications. Okay. Another tool which is Sisense. Sisense is a data analytical software aimed at adding both technical developers and the business analytical process and visualizing all their business data. It offers a wide variety of drag and drop software and interactive dashboard for collaboration. The Sisense platform unique feature is its custom in chip technology, which optimizes calculations to utilize CPU caching instead of slower RAM, and which is a 10 to 100 times faster computation for certain workflow. Just a minute, guys. Basically a data analytical software aimed at adding both technical developers and the business analyst process and visualizing all their business data. It offers a wide variety of drag and drop software and interactive dashboard for collaborating. The Sisense platform unique features is a custom in chip technology which optimizes the calculation to utilize CPU caching instead of slower RAM. This can lead to 10 to 100 times faster computation for certain workflows. Another tool is the Tivco Spotfire. Okay, Tivco Spotfire is a data analytical software that provides natural languages search and AI powered data insights. This is a comprehensive platform for viewing reports for both mobile and desktop applications. Spotfires also offers point and click tools for predictive analytical models. Another tool is the ThoughtSpot, which is ThoughtSpot is another also data analytical software that allow users to explore data from various sources through reports and natural language searches. The Sports IQ and AI powered system automatically seeks insight to help users. And discover trends they don't know to search. It allow enables users to automatically link tables from various data sources to break down data silos. Another tool which is also very known, the Google Data Studio. Google Data Studio is one of the popular free data analytical tool for dashboarding and data visualization that automatically integrates with most other Google applications such as Google Analytics, Google Ads, and Google BigQuery. Data Studio is perfect for those who need to evaluate their Google data due to its convergence with other Google services. For example, marketers could create dashboard to help okay analyze consumer conversation and retention for their Google advertising analytical results. Data Studio can run with the data from several other sources as long as data is replicated first to BigQuery using a data pipeline such as Stitch. Now another tool is the Grafana. Grafana is another free open source data analytical software for monitoring and observing metrics across diverse database and applications. It offers a real-time view with external processes and the warn users when such incidents occur. Grafana is widely used for tracking their application by tech and DevOps engineer. Data analytical software for querying data sources and building visualization. The code is open source and for organizations that want to begin quickly and an inexpensive host version is available. Redash Hut is a query editor which offers a quick interface for request schemes and integration management. Search results are cached in Redash and user can automatically reduce update. Jupyter Notebook is another tool which is you can use Jupyter Notebook in case of machine learning. If you are doing machine learning or writing the Python code is also possible in Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so Jupyter Notebook is one of the robust free open source online data analytical tools that can be administered in a browser after installation using the Anaconda platform or Python package manager PIP. It enables developers to generate reports with live code data and views. The data analytical software support more than 40 programming languages. That is the beauty of Jupyter Notebook. Formerly known as IPython Notebook, Jupyter Notebook was initially developed using Python. It enables developers to make use of Python's wide variety of analytical and visualization packages. The tool has a large group of users. So IBM Cognos is data analytical software for business intelligence and built-in AI tools to show and clarify information concluded in plain English. Okay. So guys, I do not develop for these extra tools because I have already told you about the 10 data tools. I'm just telling you about the another data tools. I did not develop the these data tools slides. Okay. So IBM Cognos is a very data analytical software for business intelligence and built-in AI tools to show and clarify information concrete in plain English. It has automated data preparation software to automatically clean and aggregate data sources. So what is the mean of aggregate data sources? It means that you have different data sources, how you can integrate them. It is very useful. So aggregation is also possible by using the IBM Cognos. Another I told you guys I do not create the PPTs for these different data sources. I told you about the 10 popular tools popular tools which are using in data analytical. Okay, I'm just telling you about your foreign information only. Another tool is the Mode is a data analytical software aimed at providing data scientists in easy and iterative environment. It offers an interactive SQL editor and notebook environment for analysis and visualization. Okay, and collaborating tools for novice users. Mode has a unique Helix data engine that streams and stores data from external database to allow swift and interactive analysis. The data analyze support up to 10 gigabytes of data in memory. So this is the beauty of Mode. Now is the NIME has already told you, or the NIME is the abbreviation for the Constant Information Miner and is a free open source data analytical software that support data integration, processing, visualization, and reporting. It integrates machine learning and data mining libraries with minimal or no programming requirement. NIME is excellent for data scientists who not inherently have proficient programming skills and need to incorporate and process data for the building machine learning. Okay, so this is the beauty of NIME. And another tool is the Oracle Analytics Cloud. Oracle Analytics Cloud is another suite of cloud-based business intelligence and data analytical tools. It focuses on helping big corporation out to transfer their agency system into a digital cloud platform. Okay, so user leverage its a wide range of analytical features from basic visualization to machine learning algorithm for deriving data insights. Okay, so now come to the conclusion. I have told you about the every data tools which we can use for data analysis point of view. Now I come to the conclusion. Uh, the all the tools are new and updated data analytical tools. List of the most tools in analytical industry. And if you are if you want to learn, then the SAS, R, and Python, these are, and some data scientist specialization, Spark, Storm, and other big data technologies are covered by the data analytical specialization. Okay, so this is completely done from my end. So thank you guys. So I'm very thankful to Center for Electronic Governance, AICT, to give me this opportunity to okay. So thank you to everyone.